we are going to start with the new unit, that is information theory. And we know that in the communication system, whenever we are transmitting the message, so it is very important to know that how much information is there in any message, right? Actually, whenever we are transmitting certain information, it cannot be always true that every transmitted data or every transmitted message is a meaningful message, or it is having a relevant information for the audience or for the user, right? So this is again very important, that we should also measure whatever the data is transmitting, how much information is there, right? Why we want to do this? Because ultimately we know that if we talk about communication, the speed of the communication or the rate of the communication is very important, right? We want that there should be a high rate communication, high data rate should be there, or the speed of the communication should be very high. So in that case, we should reduce the redundancy in the message, or we should only transmit those messages which are really having some information, right? What I mean to say, that for example, you are having a source, and this source is generating messages, right? For example, the source is generating message M1, M2, and so on, right? Now these all messages has to travel throughout the bandwidth to reach at the side of receiver. For example, this is our channel, and all these messages has to go to these channels, and ultimately they will come out at the side of receiver. Okay, so this can be an analogy that we are transmitting certain messages. All these messages has to go through the channel, and ultimately they have to reach the receiver. We know that there is a certain capacity of channel. Channel cannot have infinite capacity. It is a finite capacity channel, so it cannot carry any amount of data, right? So the data which this channel can carry is limited. And what we want that the transfer of the information or the transfer of the communication should be high, or should have very high speed. So what we have to do for this? If we are sending some garbage messages from this channel, ultimately receiver will have only few messages which is having some meaningful information for them. So what receiver will say? Receiver will say that the speed is not good. Why? Because I am receiving very less information, right? So what we should try? We should try that the information contained should be sufficiently high, or should be large, or should be sufficiently high. So what this line means, that we should have messages which are having a good amount of information. So I should only transmit those messages which are having good information. In that case, from this limited channel even, we can transmit a good amount of information to receiver, and then receiver will feel it that the speed of the transmission is very good, because the amount of information which I am receiving from this communication is good, right? So this is the concept. So because this is important to study about the message, that's why we are saying the unit is information theory, right? See, till then what we are studying, that we are having a source, this source is generating some message, right? Now we want to see that whatever the messages generated by the source, how much information is there in those messages. So we can select those messages which is having high amount of information, and we will send those messages from the channel. In that case, you can utilize the channel, limited capacity channel, for the high speed communication. Or you can say that if we know these information about the messages, we can also utilize this information in some other concepts or application also, right? So this is important to study about the message. Now we are not focusing that the message is generated. Okay, fine. So source is there, it is generating the messages. But now I am interested that what type of message this source is generating, how much amount of information is there. For example, you can say that if the source is generating some message, and this message is what? That the message is that there is a mild and sunny day. Then the second message the source is generated is a cold day, right? The third message the source is generating is possible snow flurries, right? So these are three possible distinct messages which this source is generating, right? Now see, the first message is mild and sunny day. The source is saying that today is the probability that the day can be mild or sunny day, right? So this line or this statement is very natural, because most of the time we are having some mild or some sunny days, right? So this sentence is not having that much of information, or this sentence is very useful for the receiver, right? If we are not transmitting this message to the receiver, there is nothing there is nothing abnormalities in there at the side of receiver. Receiver doesn't want to know that you are saying that today is a sunny day. It is very natural. Sometimes your receiver resource is generating today can be the possibility of cold day, right? For example, you are in the month of December. So again, this is not a very abnormal message that today is a cold day. Everyone can guess that we are in the month of December, and it is very natural that the day can be cold day. But if you say today is a possible snow flurries, right? कुछ भयंकर बर्फ का कुछ हो जाए, या हम लोग कुछ हीट स्ट्रोक का ऑब्लिक अगर हम समझ में है तो हम लोग कोई ऐसी चेतावनी दे दें कि we are having the possibility of the heat flares are there, heat strokes may be there, so don't go outside from your house or home, right? In that case, this message number 3 can have the information which a receiver wants to know. So now, if you are transmitting all these 3 statements, if you want to transmit all these 3 statements to the receiver from this limited channel, so what can be the possibility? The possibility there is that, for example, these 2 messages is successfully received at the side of receiver, and this third message got some error because of the limited bandwidth. In that case, the receiver is unaware with the most important information, that the possible snow flurries or the possible heat strokes, right? So what I mean to say that it is always very necessary to analyze the messages which the source is generating. So we have to analyze, and on the basis of that analysis, we will decide that which message ultimately we should transmit from the transmitter towards the receiver, right? So you can say that, for example, this message number 1 is a very certain message, right? It is a very certain message. And this cold day is again a kind of certain message, but this possible snow flurries or possible heat strokes are uncertain message. These events are rare events, right? So what I can say that these events are rare events, right? So whenever you say that events are rare events, right, it means that the probability of these messages to occur is very small, right? The probability is very small. In that case, what it means is this is the mathematical analysis, right? How we can measure the information, what should be the formula for it, right? What should be the mathematical clue for it, that how we can say that this sentence is not having that kind of information, and this sentence number 3 is having certain information. So we can decide this thing on the basis of uncertainty, right? So you can think about uncertainty. So wherever you are finding some uncertainty, you can say that these messages which are uncertain can have high amount of information. So it is required to transmit these messages. from the transmitter to receiver, because they can have such kind of information which can be very important for the receiver or for the user, right? So it may be there that you are not transmitting sentence number 1. It may be the case you are not transmitting sentence number 2, but it is required that you should transmit sentence number 3, because the sentence number 3 can have a significant information, because this is an uncertain event. So and see, I'm not saying that sentence number 1 is not having information. It is having information, but the amount of information is somewhat small. Sentence number 2 is again having some information, but the amount of information is again small. But sentence number 3 is having more information in comparison to sentence number 1 and 2. So it is important that we should transmit this third event primarily, and then we can think for the transmission of sentence number 1 and 2. So this we got to know how, because I want to analyze the message. Source is generating messages, but I want to analyze these messages on the basis of uncertainty or on the basis of amount of information. So this is very important for us, that what is the amount of information is there in any message, and this, if we calculate this amount of information, then it might be possible that we can decide that which message I should send from the communication channel towards the receiver. So I hope you have written down all these things. Now we are coming to the point that how we can find out the amount of information in any message, because ultimately it is important that we have to find out the amount of information. So for example, I can write down the measurement. The heading should be measurement of information in any message. So if you want to measure the information in any message, then what the formula we can use? So for example, I am using capital letter I to tell the amount of information. So I can be used to designate the information content in any message. For example, if I want to calculate the amount of information I, then we can simply use the formula that can be equal to I and K can be equal to log of base 2 1 upon probability of K. Right? You can note it down. This is very important formula. So MK is the kth message. This MK is the kth message. Log of base 2 PK is the probability of kth message, right? So if I'm saying that there is a message which is having certain probability, then you can calculate the amount of information in that message with the help of this formula, log of base 2 1 upon PK, right? And definitely the unit will be bits. The unit will be bits. So write down the unit will be bits. Right? And we are taking the log base 2. Why? Because we are in the communication where the information is represented with the help of 0 and 1. So it is a binary communication, right? If you are using binary communication, then only you can use here 2, right? And if you are using base 10, log of base 10 1 upon PK, the concept will remain same. But if you are doing, for example, you are saying that, sir, we are having decimal data. We are not interested in binary communication. So in that case, you can use the same formula with base 10, and similarly with any base, right? So for example, if you are using base 10, log of base 10 1 upon PK, then in that case, the unit will be decics. You can write down it, right? So you can write it down that, because it can be objective question. If we use the base of log log 10, then the unit of information measure can be Hartley, Hartley, Hartley or Decit. DECIT, Decit, right? So if you are using log base 10 upon PK, then the unit will be Decit. If you are using binary communication, then it will be log base 2 1 upon PK and the unit will be bits. Similarly, if we are using the natural base E, the natural logarithm, right? In that case, the unit will be N80 nat, right? So you can write it down because it can give you some objective question. If we use natural log, then the unit can be nat, N80 nat, right? So the concept of amount of information will remain same. Either you are in the binary communication, or you are doing decimal communication, or you are doing natural log communication, right? So means how you are taking the log of this probability, the unit of the information will depend on this. So the unit of bits, unit of digits, or unit of nats can be there. But the most practical and most known formula is what? That we always normally use binary communication, so the unit will be bits. So you can calculate the amount of information in any message with the help of this formula, and the unit will be bits. So we can also बोलो बेटा बोलो
सर ये फॉर्मूला ड्राइव कैसे हुआ?
ड्राइव डेरिवेशन के लिए तो कॉन्सेप्ट थ्योरेटिकली यही यूज किया गया है. अमाउंट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन इज almost inversely proportional to probability, right? So the message which is having less probability, they will have high amount of information, or the message which is having high amount of probability, that can be less amount of information. So we can say that I can be directly proportional to 1 upon pk, or then you can equalize this with the help of some constant k, and this constant k is nothing but taking the log of this probability. You can say it like this. ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
Now write down an example so that this you can learn how you can use this formula. So write down a small example. A source is having five possible messages. 5 possible messages with certain probabilities, find the information contained in each message. Find the information contained in each message, right? So what are these messages? For example, the message is M1, which is having the probability P1, the value of this probability P1 is half. Okay, visible? So M1 is equal to P1 is equal to half, comma, message M2, which is having probability P2, it is 1/4. Okay, now the third one is M3, which is having probability P3, it is having 1/8. Similarly, you can have the message M4, which is having probability P4, it is 1/16. And the last one is the fifth message, which is having probability P5. Again, the message is 1/32. Right? So you are having these 5 messages with different probabilities. You have to find out I1, I2, I3, I4 and I5. आप लोग निकालिए और मुझे आंसर बताइए. So I'm writing the answer here. Solution. Formula is IM1 is equal to log of 2 1/P1. P1 is 1/2. So you can write down that I of M1 can be equal to log of base 2 1/2, right? So 1/2 like this, right? So what you can say, you can write it down by log 2, and this 2 will come here in numerator, so log 2 of 2. So the answer will be 1 bit, because if the log of base 2 of 2 will always give you the 1, right? Same base, same log will always give you 1, right? So IM1 can be equal to 1. Similarly, you can find out the value of IM2. So it will be log of base 2 1/4, 1/1/4. Can anybody tell me what is the answer?
Two.
Very good. 2. Very good. So the answer will be 2 bits, right? अब आप मुझे सारे बता दीजिए. IM3 कितना है? IM4, and then last one is IM5. कितने कितने आ रहे हैं? IM3 is
3.
very good, 3 bit. IM4 is
4.
very good, 4. And IM5 is
5.
ultimately you can write it down. This is to the power 1, this is to the power 2, to the power 3, to the power 4, to the power 5. So if you write down here to the power 1, the answer will be 1 bit. Why? Because log base 2 is always give you 1. Similarly, here you can have 2 square. So square will come outside from this log. So log base 2 and of 2 is always equal to 1. So answer will be 2 bits. And in this way, you can find out all these answers of information, right? This is the amount of information. In certain cases, you can have a long messages, right? You can have a long messages. You can have a source which is generating the message M1, M2, M3, and the length of these messages can be long, right? In that case, we have to find out the average information, right? The source is originating a single message M1, then it is very easy that the amount of information will remain same. But if the source is generating some length, some messages with certain length M1, M2, M3 dash MK, right? And if you want to find out the average information for that source, then you can find out with the help of all these informations. So how we can do this? We have to say. So write down the next heading that the average information. This is the information. Now I want to find out the average information. So you can write it down, average information. So now we want to find out average information. Average information. Okay. So we can start with a simple line that average information, or we can say that this is average information per message. Why? Because our source is generating many messages, right? So what I want to find out, I want to find out the average information per message, because every message can have different information. Okay. For example, this is a source S, and this source S is generating M1, M2, M3, dash dash, MI messages or MK messages, right? All these messages can have different amount of information. So what is this new concept? See, one thing is that you are finding out the information in M1, information in M2, information in M3, and information in MK. But certainly, the amount of information can be different in all these messages. So what we can find out, we can find out the average information per message. If I want to make this uniform, so what we can find out, the average information per message, right? This is again a derivative concept of the amount of information, or you can say that this is that some kind, this is a different view to see the amount of information. And I will explain the definition here itself, but again and again I will tell you in the coming lectures that the application of this concept can be different at different places, or you can say the importance of this, or the view to see this line average information per message can be different at different places. We will see in the coming lectures, but today if you want to study the average information for this source, or you can say the average information per message, then how we can do this? And the important thing is what, that this average information per message can given a name, right? A name is there which tells about the average information per message. For example, the definition, right? The average or the measurement of the average information per message can be named as, perhaps you listen this word, entropy, right? Entropy. So the average information per message can be named as entropy. So whenever we might want to find out the system average information, normally we are going to find out the entropy of the system. Or whenever we say that to find out the entropy of the system, it means you are telling me about the average information per message of that source, right? So source can generate different messages. All these different messages can have different information. But now we summarize these all different information into a single value, and that value can be named as average information per message, which is nothing but the entropy of the source, right? Entropy of the source. So you can say that when you know the entropy of the source, you can say that this source is normally generating this information, right? Now you can classify the sources also, that this source is generating high amount of information, this source is generating less amount of information. You can do this now once you know the meaning of entropy. So what you can do, you can calculate the entropy of a source, and you can say that this source is generating normally 2 bit of average information. This source is generating 4 bit of average information. Likewise, right? So you can find out the nature of the source also, to when you know the meaning of entropy, right? And here we are considering, in this definition, we are going to consider memory-less source. This is very important. Memory-less source. When I am saying that the source is memory-less, it means that the messages which this source is generating, right? For example, from M1 to MK, these all are independent to each other. There is no effect of M2 on M1 or M1 on M2, because my source is memory-less. Memory-less means that there will be no residual information. When it generates the message M1, right? And when it generates the message M2, there is no correlation between M1 and M2. Both the messages are independent to each other, because my source is memory-less. If my source is having memory, in that case, you can say that M2 can have the effect of M1, because when the source is generated the message M1, it may be there that the effect of M1 is still maybe with the source, because source is having memory of M1. And in that case, the next message which is generated as M2, it can have the impact of that M1 message, right? But in that case, my source is memoryless. If my source is memoryless, in that case, all these messages are independent to each other. This is an important point. So here in the definition of entropy, I'm considering that my source is memoryless. It means that all the messages are having independent to each other, right? Now, as we know that the information measurement I k can be simply written as log of base 2 1 upon pk, right? So this is the amount of information for kth message. Now still all these sources can generate some information, and we can say that the amount of information can be generated with the help of their occurrence. For example, this M1 is having P1 of occurrence, P1 is the probability. This M2 is having P2 of occurrence. This MK is having PK of occurrence, right? So the amount of information which is coming from this source, right, can be named as IK. And once you want to calculate the average information, it means that what it means, average information means that you have to sum up all these information and you have to divide by k the possible number of messages. So in that case, the amount of information Ik should be multiplied by their probability also, because we should know that what is the probability that this information will come, right? So the average information can be written as summation of PK or IK, right? This is the average information, right? And how we sum this PK and IK, and the limit of K will go to from 1 to capital K or capital K. We can write down simply capital K. Right? Make this as a small k. So because we are having k capital K messages, so k small k can be go from 1 to capital K, PK, IK. This can be the average information, right? This can be the average information, right? And this average information can be named as entropy. And we can represent the entropy as H, capital H, right? So for example, capital H of any message M can be represented as, or we can simply write down S of source, right? So we can also write down source. HS can be represented as summation of K is equal to 1 to capital K, PK, IK, right? And we know that the value of IK can be log of 2 1 upon PK. So it can be simply written as summation of small k is equal to 1 to capital K, PK log of 1 upon PK. PK log of 1 upon PK. K stands for kth message, right? So you can have P1 log of 1 upon P1, P2 log of 1 upon P2, and this is nothing but the entropy. This is nothing but the entropy of the source, right? So फटाफट एक एग्जांपल लिख लेते हैं और जल्दी समझ में आ जाएगा, ये करना कुछ नहीं है इसमें. Write down example. A discrete source is generating 5 messages. I'm not writing example here, you just write it down. A discrete source is generating a message of 5 messages with probabilities M1 is equal to P1, which is having 1 by 2, M2 is equal to P2, which is having 1 by 4, then M3, which is having P3, which is giving you 1 by 8, then M4 giving you by P4, which is 1 by 16, and M5, which is P5, is given by 1 by 16. So this is example. We are having 5 messages. M1 with probability 1 by 2, M2 with probability 1 by 4, P3 1 by 8, 1 by 16, and 1 by 16. Now we have to find out the entropy of the source, right? We have to find out the source entropy, right? So to find out the source entropy, we can use the same formula. K is equal to 1 to 5, right? Pk log 1 upon Pk, summation. So what we'll do? See, the entropy can be written as H of S, which is 1 by 2, P1 is 1 by 2, log of 1 upon 1 by 2 plus. Summation means what? Plus. So 1 by 2 log 1 upon 1 by 2. The next message 1 by 4 log of base 2 1 upon 1 by 4 plus 1 by 8 log of base 2 1 upon 1 by 8 plus 1 by 16 log of base 2 1 upon 1 by 16, right? So what we can do, we can multiply it by 2 because we are having same probabilities for 2 messages, so we can simply write it 2 by 16. And what is the answer? Tell me. Tell me how many bits are coming for this source, the average information. Just solve it. 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 into 2 plus 1 by 8 into 3 plus 2 by 16 into 4. इसको सॉल्व करके मुझे बताओ फटाफट कितना आया पर मैसेज और पर सिंबल. दिस इज द यूनिट, है ना. अमाउंट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन की यूनिट बिट्स होगी, बट एंट्रोपी तो एवरेज इंफॉर्मेशन है. एवरेज इंफॉर्मेशन का मतलब हर मैसेज में एवरेज कितनी इंफॉर्मेशन है. सो बिट्स पर मैसेज और बिट्स पर सिंबल जो भी है. फाइन. और कोई नहीं बता रहा है. मनिका, P is for a particular source, है ना. सोर्स है मान लीजिए कोई, उसकी एंट्रोपी निकल के आ रही है. ऐसे कोई दूसरा सोर्स हो सकता है, उसकी भी कुछ एंट्रोपी निकल के आएगी. ठीक है. तो एंट्रोपी क्या है? एंट्रोपी है बेसिकली एवरेज इंफॉर्मेशन. ठीक है. अब आप ये निकाल सकते हो कि सर ये वाला सोर्स जो है वो 15 by 8 बिट्स निकाल रहा है. सोर्स में से 15 by 8 बिट्स एवरेज निकल रही है. अगला कोई ऐसा भी आ सकता है जो 16 by 8 माने 2 बिट्स निकल रही हो. कोई ऐसा भी आ सकता है 20 by 8 2 बिट से ज्यादा निकल रही हो. ऐसे करके आप सारे सोर्सेस की एनालिसिस कर सकते हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस एंट्रोपी. वेरी गुड. बट ये एंट्रोपी और अमाउंट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन समझ में आए हैं?
यस सर.
वेरी गुड मैन. एक्चुअली देखा जाए तो बहुत सिंपल से 2 फॉर्मूले मैंने आपको बताए हैं. एक बताया है आई का विच इज log 1 upon p, और एक बताया मैंने एंट्रोपी h का which is p log 1 upon p. That's it. अब इन पर आपसे खूब सारे न्यूमेरिकल पूछे जा सकते हैं. ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप के या सब्जेक्टिव टाइप के आराम से निकाल सकते हैं आप. एक को एंट्रोपी बोलते हैं, एक को अमाउंट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन बोलते हैं. आप किसी भी सोर्स के अमाउंट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन एंट्रोपी निकाल सकते हैं. ठीक है.
ओके सर.
ओके.